Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I'm wearing a dress I bought at Target.
Yeah.
We had gone up to see Ben's Aunt Marianne, 4th of July.
4th of July.
And we went to a winery, and there was a woman in a group next to us that had this gorgeous hot pink dress. And and one of the other women said, "Where did you get it?" She's, "Oh, I got it at Target." I went, "Oh, I want that dress." So I went online. I found it at Target. It came in navy blue polka dots.
No, black and white polka dots.
Black and white polka dots.
Because I got the black and white polka
right.
dot one.
I would have chosen that, except Elizabeth got it. And then it had this.
Well, it also has 2 different size polka dots.
I know that.
And you were upset by that when you first looked at it.
I still would have gotten it. Anyway, Aunt Marianne was going to get the hot pink one. And
yes, she did.
Meant for the hot pink. So I said, well, I'll get the other one. So this is this one. And I like it.
Yeah,
I'm very pleased.
I wish it had pockets, but I understand why it doesn't.
Well, because it's
a slip dress.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to pull up.
Oh, you had to not. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I just adjusted the straps at the back.
I did this 5 minutes before we left the house today.
Oh, okay.
I will do it better.
I was gonna say I held it where I wanted, and I said, "Hey, babe, fix my straps."
What do you mean, fix your straps?
You can make the straps so that they pull it up.
Ah, all right.
We can do that after. I'll show you. We can do it after.
I had the dress on. We're about to leave the house, and I'm going, I got to fix this dress.
Yes.
And even if we do that, I'm going to have to
You can tack that. That's fine.
Anyway, we went to a wine tasting this afternoon.
Oh.
I brought my iced tea.
Good.
But anyway, the summer's winding down. We have news.
We do. You might have seen on Instagram. Mom shared on Instagram. If you are my friend in real life and I have not told you prior to now, I am sorry.
I apologize. I'm losing track of who I've told and who I have not.
Exactly. But I'm also like oddly not talking about it. I've noticed, which is fine. But this is my preemptive apology if I know you in real life and this is how you're finding out.
You want to give me that calendar? I want to tell them the right date.
It was the 10th.
That's what I thought.
It was the 10th. So on August 10th, my grandmother died.
We were
there July 30th and 31st.
Yes.
So we
were there a week and a half before she died. Richard and I had gone up to Lake Placid to do walking and looking and hiking if he could do it. We were actually doing about 1.5 miles, 2 miles a day.
You guys seem to do a bunch. I got a bunch of photos from him.
I wouldn't have said it was hiking. We were not going
but we were getting
rocks,
out.
But we were getting out, yes. And so we started on Thursday, drove up to Albany. Friday we drove up to Lake Placid in a driving rain.
Friday was,
a driving rain. It's when a lot of upstate New York got flooded. So Saturday, we go out and we were at the High Peaks Gorge or something like that, which is very pretty. It's a privately held part of the park. And they have a very simple walking path where you can see the waterfalls, or you can go cross country. We did both. Felt very good about ourselves. My youngest brother was texting me. He was at Mom's and said she doesn't look good. And in fact, we can't wake her up. I said, well, then go down the hall to the nurse's station and get their attention. So apparently he did, because he found out that she'd been given morphine for pain. And that's why they couldn't wake her up. So I know that she was still breathing at that point. Later that afternoon, about an hour later, 2 hours later, my older younger brother.
Your older younger brother. You are the eldest.
I am the eldest, yes. Texted me and said Mom died. We were not surprised. Mom was angry because she could no longer direct her own life. And my mom was a great director.
A little general. If
yes.
you all have been with us
for a while,
you have heard us refer to her as the little general.
Yes, she directed everything within the household. My father dealt with the bigger picture, like finance, world politics, things like that. My mother never did understand federal support for the federal flood insurance. You know, she says, I pay my bill. I said, you pay your bill, I pay your bill, Elizabeth pays your bill. Everybody pays a federal tax to help pay your bill. No, you don't. And my father would pipe up from the corner, yes, Eleanor, she's right. So now they're together. Mm-hmm. Not physically yet because the church is under construction.
Also, if you're my real life friend and you've heard this story, understand that we're the entire family is laughing about this. What you're about to say about the church is under construction. The church has been under construction for almost a year now, and there is nothing on their website about it. There is nothing posted.
My brother has spoken to the minister.
Oh, good.
And they expect the church to be done the end of September.
Oh, that's pushed out now from what I was told.
But then the bishop has to come and bless
re-bless.
So I'm holding all of October open. I have had no date. My brother did say he thought October 3rd would be a good date.
That's a Friday.
I have no idea. You know, whatever. And she's been cremated, as my father was, and then she will be interred in the cemetery ground, the holy ground, next to my father. I was at a club event today, and very sweetly, people were coming up to me and asking how my mother was, because the last time we saw them, we were about to go down. Rich and I were going down for a week, and then I came home, and then we went down. So they hadn't seen me, and I said, well, she died. I was talking about how bad she was, and she was exactly that bad. In fact, she was in worse shape than some of the nursing staff thought. Anyway, I think she went peaceably. The week before, she was yelling at my brother because she wanted her car back. I don't think she thought she was going to die. I think she thought that as long as she ate her food, took her meds, although she wasn't doing either one of those regularly, that she would continue living. She had a really good life. I think she may have realized she was dying because she was trying to collect all her things again.
Yes.
And she was big on things, and you have to understand that she grew up dirt poor. Her parents were from the Appalachian Mountains, and they didn't own any property there. I mean, they were just from the Appalachian Mountains. My grandfather was a failed auto mechanic. He was a good mechanic. He was a failed businessman. So he would open up garages and they would shut. My grandmother was an RN and worked until she was 75, providing a constant salary for the family.
Is hers the cedar chest I have, or is it her mom's? Oh.
No, it's my grandmother's.
From New York that has finally made it back to New York.
Yes. Yes, it is my grandmother's cedar chest that you have.
Yes.
So anyway, I've been down to see my mother, I think, about 5 times this spring and summer. I feel that I have done all that I could. She did call me one evening to say she was lost in Port Washington, which, if you're not from the area, it's a town where we used to live 10 years ago.
Where I went to high school.
Right. We were there for 30 years, and then we moved here into the little house. And my heart was in my mouth. You know, it's like, oh my God, my mother, how did she get to Port Washington? So I sat down and I said, okay, Mom, tell me what you see. And she's, I'm lost in Port Washington. I want you to come and get me settled in my own place. I went, okay. And I'm getting a lot of reflection. So I said, okay, so tell me what you see around you. She goes, I see my table and chairs. And at that point, I knew she hadn't left anything. I said, well, then you're in a really good hotel, and they will feed you breakfast in the morning, and we will deal with this in the morning. And that was it. So she was having, so anyway, she grew up very poor. Very, very poor. They used to raise chickens to wring their necks so that they could eat the chicken. I mean, it was, my grandmother had a...
I know in theory how to kill and bleed and pluck and prepare a chicken from that. Because Nan has described it to me. Okay. I theoretically know how to do this. I've never once will ever probably try to do it.
So, they saved tinfoil and washed it so that it could be used. I mean, they were really reduce,
recycle. However, I still remember the summer that the grandkids, we convinced her to stop washing Ziploc bags.
Ziploc bags.
Because and it was serendipitous. There was a segment on one of the newses that week about how the plastic in it degrades every time, like every use, and she was like, "Well, then it's no good," and we were like, But also, please, you put raw meat in that. Please throw it out.
Yeah, really.
Please do not wash it."
So, having her things indicated to her that she really had some achievements in her life, and I understand that. So when we moved her into assisted living, and she needed to have this big,
giant china cabinet,
break front, and huge dining room table from her condo in her assisted living apartment, it was because she wanted to be able to see around her the items that signified achievement. And we got almost everything in that she wanted, so that was good. So I have to say, I think, and my younger brother agrees with me, that we did everything that we could think of. She had 24-hour nurses' aides.
Yeah.
We had gotten her into hospice, so she was getting more pain medication. So she's just no longer with us. She's in heaven with my father, who's now giving her a focus in her life that she lost when he died.
I mean, he's probably a little he's probably going, "Well, there goes my quiet time."
And he's going, "No, Eleanor, they're right." But for those of you who know my mom, I'm sorry to be the bearer of this information. But I think she was getting very frustrated at not being able to move around on her own. She had no agency. She had no ability to direct her own self. Yeah. So that's the Nan update. It's not great, but I fully believe in heaven and hell, and I believe my mother's gone to heaven. So I'm okay. Yeah. What else? I'm going to talk about...
You need to talk, because I'm trying real hard not to start crying.
All right, this is a hat that I made a mess of. This is a hat that Elizabeth brought.
Where are your tissues in this
the other room?
Oh, God. She's going to describe her hat. I'm going to go get some tissues.
This is a hat with yarn from Knit in Roslyn and a pattern from them. And there were two different patterns, and I chose this one, which is a lifted pattern. And it's a little tight, and we think it's my bind off. So I was trying to cut the bind off, and I think I've cut the hat. So now I'm going to have to go in and fix the hat. It's one of those things.
I feel like I should just share the interaction I just had. I went into the other room. My father is sitting up in his office, and I was like, "Do you have tissues in here?" And he hands me essentially a tissue box worth full of tissues, but no box. Just the tissues.
So anyway, it's a hat. I'm going to take the bind off. It's already
better.
It's already better. I don't think I have to take any more of the bind. Well, maybe a little bit more of the bind.
Maybe a little bit, so that it comes down a little.
And then I'll fix the hat.
Yeah.
Because I've cut a hole in the hat. I'd show you, but I can't find it at the moment. Somewhere around.
Because you cut a blue stitch?
No, I cut an orange stitch that I thought. There, see that stitch? That stitch to that stitch. So, wait a minute. We'll find
a stitch marker.
A stitch marker someplace.
Somewhere. Where's stitch marker?
I've got a pin here.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a needle.
Oh, here's one.
Oh, good. And I'll hold it.
Yeah.
So I'll take this apart and I will find another way to keep the brim up, because the brim by itself was not staying up. That was the problem. So I guess what I could do is every 4 inches just go and tap it together once I fix the hole that I put. There's a hole right there. So that's a problem. So maybe the issue wasn't, well, there's an issue there too. Oh, but that's okay. That's from the fake bind off that I did. I bound off and then I bound off again, having picked up, there it is, having picked up the bottom of the brim. I realize that a lot of the problems I'm having with my knitting is my brain is still scrambled. Yeah. So while I say that I'm fine, obviously I'm not quite fine. Yeah. But we'll get there. Yeah. We will get there. Yeah, we'll get there. That's the answers. We will get there.
We will.
And so that's the story. So I have made a hat. And the other thing we would show you the pattern, except I've lost it in the house someplace. So talk about being discombobulated.
So it's one of the patterns from Stitch and Pitch this year. It's the one that wasn't by Brooklyn Boy Knits. I can't remember what it was, but we'll figure it out
once we find the pattern.
And we'll put it down below. But yeah,
as soon as we find it. Well, you have one at home.
I have one at home,
so we could do that.
But yeah, but I've been.
You can talk about that. Then I'll talk about Chloe's dress.
So I have started a baby blanket for a former coworker.
Oh, nice! That's really pretty.
Yeah. So it's called the Fair and Square Blanket. It's from Pom Pom Knits, or Pom Pom, or not Pom Pom. Purl Soho.
Oh, okay.
And it has a knit and a crochet version. I'm doing, obviously, the knit version. And you can either do it where there are 26 coordinating colors on a background, or you can do it with 4. I'm doing the one with 4. Okay. Because I didn't have large enough scraps to really be able to do the 26, or the 22, yeah. So I thought about it.
I'm sure you did.
I did. Because it'd be a good stash buster.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's really cute. I'm really enjoying it. What I'm also doing is I'm not using the recommended yarn. I'm using Karen Soft and Shiny. You know, my standard acrylic for babies. And I decided to knit it on size 7 needles because I really like the look of the garter on 7s.
It's pretty.
With this yarn. Like, I already knew that, so that's what we're going to do. And then I cast on for the bigger size, and I got to, so this was the first square. I got like halfway through the gray section, and I was like, these are going to be too big. So I took it out, and I'm making the smaller size, but on bigger needles, so it's still a pretty decent size.
Like a nice crib blanket.
So it's 5 across and 7 tall. So it's going to be either a crib or a throw. Like, Nugget will be able to use it for a while.
Yes.
Is my thought. So that's exciting. And I got the colors approved, which is good.
Always good.
Because they weren't choosing nursery colors until baby was born, because of just cultural things, and so
I can understand that.
Then, so I had to wait until baby was born in order to pick colors, but also if baby had been born later, I might have just picked colors and said deal with it. But I am really enjoying it. It is written to be like pick up and knit, so it's not seamed together, and this is not a modification I did to knit them together, so that's nice.
That is nice.
But yeah, I've got so much of this light gray yarn now, so I'm hoping it uses most of it, but we'll see.
Where did the light gray come from?
Joann's. Michael's.
Oh, you went and bought it.
I went and bought almost this entire blanket is fully new yarn just because of how much yarn I needed. I wanted to buy. I bought what the amounts the pattern said because you never know. And also, I mean, it's a good gray, so why not?
It's a good gray. That is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's time for you all to laugh at me again. I'm making the Terna, a girl's tunic. And I posted on Instagram that I had done a knitted swatch. And I found out that my size 2s were using lace held double. And it's supposed to be fingering weight yarn, so lace held double is fingering.
I mean, sometimes.
Well, anyway,
sometimes it's a little lighter. That's all.
It's a little light, so I figured instead of making the size 5, because she's going to be 5, I'll make the size 6.
Okay.
And I cast on the express number of stitches, and it came out to be like this. And I said, this doesn't make any sense to me, because the lace pattern that I thought I was doing after you do the side lace was one that shows increases. So I said, this is awfully big for a neck. So I've done 2 rows of the pattern, and I waited for Elizabeth to come. And we found that there was another lace chart.
We first found that it is knit from the bottom up.
Which helps a lot.
Which helps with that, it's a little big for a neck.
Yes.
And then we found that my mother had missed 2 lace chart pages.
Lace
2!
One lace chart.
2!
No, I have this one.
You saw that one. Oh,
yes,
okay.
That I did. That I'm doing.
This one you didn't
see.
This
one I missed.
Okay. So one of the lace charts.
One of the lace charts. Now it makes sense because in between the side lace chart is 42 stitches times 2, so that's 84 stitches. Subtract that from 252, you get 168. The instructions said to repeat the lace pattern 7 times in the front and 5 times in the back. And when I took the pattern that I was using,
which is the yoke increase or decrease pattern,
which I don't understand what's the decrease.
Or no, just yoke lace pattern chart. So you'll find out.
Yeah, who knows how this yoke works. There's 33 stitches on the first row. So 33 stitches goes into 168 5.09 times. So I said, fine, I'll do 3 repeats in the front and 2 in the back. And we'll stick 3 stitches of stockinette someplace, which I did. But it bothered me because if this is from the bottom up, why is it increasing as you go up the body? And if it's from the neck,
how big is the neckline?
Right. Well, the other thing I read was they have how you can do. I have to get this reprinted, obviously.
Yeah, I was like, I can't really read some of the pages.
Main part, they have us doing short rows for the neck, and I'm going. If desired, the garment could be worked with front and back of the same length, omitting the following section, or immediately proceeding with the main part of the body. Whereas this is short rows, so they're doing short rows at the bottom.
To give it a little...
To give it more length in the back.
Yeah.
Well, I've never done that before, so I think of short rows at the back of your neck. So I'm reading all this, and I'm like, this is an awfully big neck. I mean, especially for a 5-year-old. So, obviously, my mother's passing has affected me more than I know. And thank goodness Elizabeth is here to read for me. Because, oh, by the way, I did a COVID test this morning before you all came over, so I knew that I didn't have COVID. What? If I had COVID, I would have told me.
I know, but I just panicked for a minute.
We were going to the wine and cheese party. I said I can't go.
If you were positive.
If I was positive, and I felt fine.
But it's always good.
I thought I'd check.
Yeah.
Since I've been sick this week. The day we drove home from Lake Placid, it was also raining cats and dogs. Although luckily, not before we got to the hotel. It was sheeting down by the time we got to the hotel. It was like a solid wall
I
of water.
wish that we had taken a video of us going over the Verrazano that day. Because I was white-knuckling it.
Oh,
Because it was high winds, tornado warnings in Jersey. And going over the Verrazano. Yeah. But I did it. I did very good.
Why were you going to Jersey?
Because we were going to see friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got to the hotel in Albany before it really started coming down, which was good. I can't remember why I started this at all.
You were describing the lead up to getting the call from your brother.
No, because this was coming home.
This was coming home. Oh.
I don't remember why I started this. So anyway, I'm obviously more scatterbrained than usual. This stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lovely relationship with my mom.
Mm-hmm. She only drove you a little bit crazy.
Yeah, but you know, that's what moms do.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
me about it.
Do. That's what we do. Because we know
it's part
all
of the contract.
It is part of the contract. And, you know, she, I think, was able to pass with as much dignity as we could give her.
Yes.
So that's what I cut. I cut one of those things. Because I thought it was the pickup. Now how does this work?
That's much better.
Okay. And we'll just turn it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fix the hole and I'll just turn it up. Okay,
yeah,
that's not bad.
much better.
Not bad. I was trying to be fancy. Because I had this bind off and then I went and picked up where the brim meets the hat and I knitted that. And that should have remained loose. Knitting. But now I bound off.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, all right, so my color work is not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I'll just fix that hole. Luckily, I've been knitting for a while, so I can fix that hole.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got the pink thing that I'm going to take down 2 rows and start again, which is fine. Often with a project, the start is more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, so I've been working on the baby blanket.
Yes.
I also have been carrying around my Rumble Raglan, which I really haven't picked. I did a few rows on it last week, but so we're still in super crop top territory, so hopefully I'll get a little bit further.
Yeah, I don't think you can wear it.
I can't wear it just yet, yeah, but it's still really cute. So that's on the list and, you know, still being worked on, but it's a little hard when you don't have any motivation to work on a 2x2 color work piece.
Yes.
But what I decided to do, so last night I went to Brooklyn, or not last night, but yesterday I went to Brooklyn and hung out with a bunch of my knitting friends.
I wondered where you were going.
Oh. Did you track me and see me going somewhere?
You told me you were going to Brooklyn.
Oh.
You texted me. And you said,
oh, I'm on the way. Yeah, because I was on the way.
Subway going to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I said, I wonder what she's doing.
Well, I was meeting up with Lisa and Katrina for brunch.
Ah.
And then Lisa and I went to Shamika's for
dinner.
Well, yeah, it ended up being dinner and more crafting.
Of course.
As one does.
As one does.
Yes. And it was a whole big group. It was lovely.
I tracked you the weekend before. I just got to be in my bonnet to see, where's Elizabeth this week? This weekend, since we're not there. And she's on an island. And I went, that's a little odd. Yes,
it was a friend's husband's birthday, and they had procured
an Airbnb?
Well, now they don't do as much it is an Airbnb, but it's an entire, essentially, island camp-ish site. It used to be a Boy Scout camp. Now it has little cabins on it, has kind of eco toilets.
Oh,
you have a shower house. Yeah, it's
okay.
It is just to the outsidey versus outdoorsy side of camping. So it was fun. And so I got some knitting done there because there were other knitters.
How many people were there?
Oh goodness, I think in total 36.
Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, it was other couples and families, and so
all that knew
the couple.
Ah,
yeah. Okay. And the birthday boy and his wife.
Yes.
Yes. So I've decided, because it is the end of August, and I love the fall and spooky times, and
Another cross stitch?
this is a cross stitch that has its own little stand things.
Oh, how
So
cute!
they are little pumpkins, and like they're designed, and so I'm starting them now so that I can hopefully have a bunch, or at least one of them to display. But I started it yesterday, and that's what I got done yesterday. I got a lot done.
Fair amount, yes.
So I'm working on the little cat one. So didn't get too far because then it got dark and it was, nighttime. But I'm working on it, and I'm very excited. And I'm using a PDF editor program that a friend of mine, Katrina, recommended.
Rather than Knit Companion?
Well, because I can, in the PDF expert, I can mark off like this.
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Can you send me a link to that?
I can.
That would be good.
And if you save to the iCloud within the program, you can open it then also on your iPad and I think your Mac too.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my Mac has now developed a broken speaker.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you know that.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah.
I tried to listen to a Zoom and...
Yeah, it did not go all that well.
No,
it had a fit.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so I've been working on that stuff. Other than that...
I have a mess.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I vacuumed in the living room today, and so things got a little chaotic.
Yeah.
It's cleaner downstairs,
mm-hmm.
but, this is much better. It got a little chaotic, and the balls fell out of the knitting bowl and went rolling. So, of course, when you're working with two balls, it gets a little strange.
It does. But yeah, so... I was going to say, the only other thing, as I tink back my knitting in my lap here, because I missed some decreases, you can't really make a square if you don't decrease. But there's a leather company called Portland Leather that I bought previously. I brought my little, have you seen my new wallet? My new purple wallet?
Yes,
I got that from them. And I got a little crossbody bag to wear for concerts.
Good.
Kind of about the size of your new little, a little bit bigger than your new little crossbody. Okay. And they have what they call a C grade sail. So it might have some larger scuffs, might have some major dings. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, they have backpacks. And I really wanted a backpack, but I was not fast enough. So the next time they do one of these, I'm just going to do a strike. We're just going to go for the backpack. We're not going to go for anything else.
But what did you get?
But the other part of this is that it's a mystery on what color you get. You don't get to choose the color. You just get to choose.
So I could get green.
You could get green.
I'm not a fan of green.
Right, but we have friends who might be fans of green.
That's true.
So I got what they call a Juliet large tote. This is very nice. It's also a really lovely leather. This is their cognac color.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah. Mine has a few scratches here and on the handle.
Put more on them.
Oh, yeah. And it has a little pocket right here, which currently is holding my... We went to a game store in New Jersey, and they make their own little games that you can play out of this little card sleeve. And this is a one-player game, so if you arrive early to a reservation or something, you can kind of play, or you are just by yourself, you can play it. It's kind of fun, so I just stuck it in my bag. But yeah, this is my new little tote, and I'm very excited about it, and it was on sale.
I almost bought a bigger tote than that at Lake Placid. It's worked leather. It was gorgeous.
Can you tell what our weakness is in this household?
Yeah. Handbags, shoes, and basically leather things.
I mean, it does come from Eleanor.
It does. It really does. My mother had shoes dyed to match. She had 50 shoes in her closet at one point. because they would go out and she would have shoes to match every outfit.
I didn't understand that was a odd thing growing up.
No. I mean, she would go to the summer house with 20 boxes of shoes. My mom loved shoes. She really did. And, you know, they could afford it.
And I was going to say, and she passed that along to almost all of us.
Yes. And I have a thing about woven leather bags.
You do.
This work leather bag was very difficult, but it was going to be heavy. So I decided I don't need to carry anything heavy. I'm wearing this light little crossbody. I don't need a heavy bag. So I didn't get it.
Good job.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No,
So I'm tinking this back. I'm going to tink back 2 rows. Yes, it's going to take me some time. And I think my website must be coming along.
You should check in.
I should check in. I will check in now that I'm home.
Yes.
I will check in. Because the nevertheless would be very timely,
yes.
Yes. So.
But yeah. So we're,
So I haven't designed my any sweaters. Obviously, my mojo kind of left the house. I'm going to try this week to get a little bit further in my lessons because I really am starting the Excel spreadsheet part of the designing a sweater. And that really, it's the thing that it stops me the most, but is what's most important. So I want to get on that. So if I can work a little bit on that, that'll be good. I'm going to have to get a new computer by the first of the year because this thing is, the password is something 2015 because that's the year I got it. And many computers do not last this long, and this has had heavy service.
I mean, yeah, and it's 15 years old.
No,
10. Sorry.
10.
I can do math, I promise.
But I use it every day as a teacher, and it went back and forth with me to the Bronx. So it had seen heavy usage, and it's given its all, and it's starting to. It's like the car that was handing out pieces. I once had a printer that printed out a page with a piece of the printer on it, and I said, "That's a very cute way of saying you've had enough." I think the speaker blowing on this was the indication that it's had just about enough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait till Christmas, and then because maybe there'll be some sales then.
Not even that, but we can talk about it.
So
but also because I think they come out with new ones in the fall.
They do.
So we should definitely wait until the announcement.
Right. The only thing I need to have USB.
It's going to have to be a dongle to get to a USB-A. USB-A, because all computers now come with USB-Cs.
Yes.
They don't have USB-As.
That's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine.
That's all.
My husband has put all of our financial information on a thumb drive. My father used to travel with 2 suitcases full of briefcases of financial information. My husband travels with a thumb drive. And then while we're away, he'll say, "I need to look at this." I said, "Fine, look at this. I don't care." So yes, my laptop needs to have a USB port. Anyway,
it will have a USB-C, and we can.
Correct in that my cord downstairs from my iPad was shot, so I have a new USB-C down there. Nice. I don't care if it's a USB-C to a.
Okay, it'll just have to be a dongle.
That's fine. I just need.
Yeah, they have ports. My new one, not new, it's 2 years old at this point.
It has a port?
It has ports, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it had a port.
Yeah, mine have ports.
Because I thought you said it didn't have anything.
It doesn't have, it has 2 or 3 USB-C ports.
Well, I don't need as many things sticking out of this thing as I used to, because I used to have to hook this up to the overhead projector. Right. Anyway, I think we're meandering at this point.
I think we are meandering. That is kind of how both of our brains are doing right now. If you ask us how we're doing,
we're fine.
We're fine. And honestly, it's mostly shock. So just, again, if you know us in real life, bear with us. I know
assume this gets better. It got better after my father.
Exactly. So. It got better with both of my grandfathers. But I am prone to just having little crying fits. And we just work through them. And so just...
Oh, I caught a cold. That's what I was talking about on the way
Oh,
home.
yes, you did catch a cold on the way home.
The next morning, Tuesday morning,
Yeah.
I go downstairs to get coffee. And what I have for breakfast is I have coffee with a bit of a protein shake in it.
I was going to say, but this isn't... That's not the Tuesday after Nan passed. This is
the
a
Tuesday
week.
we're coming home.
Right.
So, and I have had a headache every day while we were gone.
Well.
Every day I woke up with a headache. So, and even at the residence, and even though I opened the windows and all this, I woke up with a headache. So I go down for coffee, 2 cups of coffee. I'm going to put my protein shake in it and a banana. Between getting the first cup of coffee poured and the second cup of coffee, suddenly I'm sneezing my head off. This whole side of my face is filling up with fluid, and I'm embarrassing myself because I'm looking at these people around me, and I'm sneezing and sneezing and sneezing, and they have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. So I grab some Kleenexes, blow my nose, still filling up with fluid, get my coffee, get my banana, and run upstairs. And it was like that for the entire rest of the day. I drove home with a Kleenex box in my lap. Richard doesn't drive long distances anymore because it sends his neuropathic leg into spasm. So I drive home. Nose is just, the whole thing is just a mess. I don't know how you catch a cold in 10 minutes, but I did. So I just think that my immune system is somewhat depleted. And I've been home the whole week. I mean, I didn't go out anywhere, and I thought since I was going to see these favorite people of mine today, I would do a COVID test just to make sure. And it was negative. So I would have called and let you know.
I know.
We're calling it the Eleanor disease. And anyway, take your loved ones, give them a hug and a kiss. And we'll see you the next time. It's not going to be next week they're away, and then after that you're away. So it may be 3 or 4 weeks, and I apologize for that, but we're going up to Maine. We're going up to Acadia National Park. We're going to take a lot of long walks. I have my mosquito repellent. I actually got a USB electronic one that heats a permethrin strip. Because the other thing I could have gotten was some kind of, the mosquitoes were biting us at the John Brown house, so I could have gotten something from a mosquito. That was the day before we drove down. Anyway, we're trying to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll leave in those ends. I'll keep taking this thing apart. I'll fix my hat.
But don't be concerned if you don't see us for a little bit, because we're just
fine.
traveling.
We'll be fine. We're traveling. Exactly. They're going to Connecticut. Then after that, we're going to Maine.
Yeah.
It's all good. And then
good.
later, we're going to go to Arizona.
Oh, look at you.
I know. It's all about walking. We walk the state and national parks in Arizona after Thanksgiving. It's warmer, which is nice. And this year, my husband's brother is not coming with us because they're going out west now.
Oh, okay.
And they invited us out west with them. But we don't know when my mother's funeral is going to be.
Exactly, we can't.
So I can't go. They're going to be out for about 8 weeks, and that would cover October. Yeah. So I said, thank you very much. And they're going to Aspen. It's going to be lovely, but I need to be there for the funeral. Yeah. So I said to Richard he could go, but I'm not going, and he can't drive from the airport. So, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. We're fine, or we will be fine. I hope all of you are fine. I hope anybody who is negatively impacted by the rain will be fine, hopefully. I hope you get funding for fixing whatever broke or tore off or flooded, because there have been torrential rains in and around New York. I don't know what it's been like in the rest of the country. So we hope you all are fine, and we hope to see you within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Leaving those ends.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.